Hey there, it's Kari at StudioR12 Stencils, and today we are painting the perfect sign for a Father's Day gift or man cave, and we are trying a drop shadow technique we have never tried before. So most of this project is pretty basic and we're painting it off camera, but there are a few things that I want you to be aware of. This is a really good project for using those teeny tiny brushes that you might get when you're doing brush set that you're not really sure what to use. We typically use the 5/8 brush for most of our projects. However, with this project, there's a lot of teeny tiny spaces with the fishing line and the fishing rod, and then we get down to the fish. So this is a really good project to use those teeny tiny brushes to really just get where we need to be. Speaking of teeny tiny areas, this is also a really great project to use the StudioR12 Multi-Masker. This is a piece of Mylar that is washable and reusable. You can tell it's been a while since we've washed it, but we use this on almost every project. It has a bunch of different shapes and designs, so you can really fit anywhere. This is going to be a game changer for painting something like this. Otherwise, you would have to use tape and tape and tape, and you would spend more time taping than you would painting. With this, you don't have to tape. You just put it where you want, cover up the areas that you don't want to get the gray on or the brown on, and then paint away. And just move it around until you find the space that fits best. Without this, my project was a mess. I did make some mistakes, but we are able to fix them with the use of the multi-masker. The last trick before I get back to painting is undercoating. So we have talked about this a lot, especially when we talk about reds and making reds pop. But basic rule of thumb is if you are painting something light on a dark background, you will want to undercoat your paint, and that will help it pop. If you try to paint a yellow on a green and don't undercoat it, then the yellow isn't going to be very visible. So what we like to do is grab a really light gray, and we just did a really light dusty layer on the fish, on our fishing pole, and on our word gone. And what that will do is when we use those bright colors, it will automatically lift it up and bring it some pop, because then we're not painting on a dark background, we are painting on a really light gray background. And the reason we like gray over white is most important when it comes to red. If you try to undercoat red with white, you're going to get pink. So we often just go ahead and use a really light gray that will cut that, and then we won't be choosing the wrong one. So on this project, I'm going to show you two different ways that you can do this triple drop shadow. I'm going to start with the most basic and beginner way. That is to go ahead and have your stencil lined up where you want it. And we will want to do a base coat in the color that is going to be our main color. So our main color for our letters is the 25 yellow. So we are going to start with a dusty base coat on our letters. And I've seen some people do this a couple of different ways. I've seen them do it where they just highlight a little portion of the letter. I've seen them do it where they paint all of the letters. I like to paint all of the letter. I tried it a couple different ways when I did my practice board and decided that this works best for me, is to just paint all of the letter, because this is going to be our guide when we start moving our stencil to get the drop shadow. So we're not using a lot of paint. We're just getting a really light dusty base coat that is going to be our guide to tell us where to move the stencil. Okay, so we have our first level of our base coat. Now we go to decide where we want to move our stencil. The beauty of drop shadow is that you can choose to go top left, top right, bottom right. That is going to be personal preference. depending on the project, kind of determines where I go. In this project, I'm going to go to the bottom and to the left. So what that means is I have my stencil in its main position. I'm going to drop it down. So now you see the green beneath the yellow. And then I'm going to move it over a little bit to the left. So now you already see that there is just a little smidge of green surrounding the yellow. So this is going to be our drop shadow. I'm gonna retape it and go into our next color. So while I am waiting to come back to my yellow brush, because we are going to use it again, I'm gonna put it in a flip top baggie, roll it up here and leave it to the side. So this will help keep my brush moist while I am painting the other color. If the brush dries out, then you will need to get a new brush. And if you are limited on brushes, sometimes we don't want to do that. I'm gonna put my yellow paper towel off to the side. I will be using that again. I'm just gonna get a new paper towel. So if you're new to stenciling, you get paint on your brush, you come to your paper towel and you offload, swirl off, or wipe off about 10-15 times, depending on how heavy-handed you are when you're stenciling. And you come back to your project and you can either stipple or swirl. I am stippling because it covers more ground faster. We have a lot of project to cover, and so I'm just doing the stippling to get it done as quick as possible. However, that can potentially get you in trouble because a lot of times when we go quick, we don't always go through all of the steps. We might not go through the offloading process, or we might not offload enough, or we might start pushing too hard on the project, and then that's where you tend to make mistakes. You'll see that I am using this multi-masker very graciously. I am going all around my letter to make sure that I am not ghosting or getting brown where I don't want it to be. So let's peek real quick and let me show you what this looks like. So now you see the F is brown. So this is our drop shadow. So the brown is what is going to be shadowed. I'm going to, it's deep enough brown, it covered enough area that I don't think I need another coat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the brown and then we'll come back and go to our next step. All right, we have our brown layer finished. This is our second drop shadow layer. So let's peel this off and see what it looks like. Ta-da! So now we have brown lettering with a yellow drop shadow. So this is opposite of what our project's going to look like when we're finished. So if you were just wanting to do a traditional drop shadow, what would you do? You would put the stencil back on. You're gonna line up the stencil with the original stencil placement. And that's why we did the first yellow base coat. So that first yellow base coat is going to help you line this up. You'll also be able to line it up with all the other portions that we have already stenciled. So that's what makes it really wonderful if you have a project that you have other things stenciled, because you can just line it up with that. However, since we are going to triple drop shadow this, we're going to move it again and go one more layer. I do think that some of this is still a little wet, so I'm gonna hit it with a blow dryer before we put the stencil on and move it, because if it's wet, we put the stencil on and move it, we're going to drag the paint and then we're gonna make a mess, and then you're gonna be really sad because this is a time intensive project, and if you make a mistake because you weren't really paying attention, you are going to be very sad with yourself. Okay, so now we're going to re-put our stencil on, and we are going to put it on right over top of the brown. So right where we just finished is where we want to line this stencil up. So we are going to do another drop shadow from it. So for our third layer, we're going to do the same movement. We're going to move it down and then over to the left, tape it and stencil it again. So we're going to move it down so we have our green. We're going to move it over to the left. So now we have, once again, green on the bottom and green on the left side. You will notice that part of your stencil has started to hang over the edge. This is also a really great way to line it up because our stencils are laser cut, and you will be able to kind of see, do we have the same amount of area hanging off the edge? That's also a really great way to line it up once you start doing the movements. So now you do have a couple of options when it comes to doing this layer. We talked about doing the white undercoat to make a color pop. So with our first layer of yellow, we just did it really dusty and it's kind of hard to see it. This is where practicing pays off. So normally I would have done an entire layer of a gray undercoat here to make sure that that yellow popped. However, when I practiced, I didn't do the gray undercoat. I just did a couple of really bold layers of the gold, and the gold really popped off of the green here. So practice really helped me out and saved me a little bit of time and paint. I don't need to do the gray undercoat because I know that it pops. I'm gonna trade out my brushes, put the brown brush in my baggie and get out my yellow one. So once we get done here, then we have to go all the way back. We're gonna come into our yellow, go back to our yellow paper towel, come to our offloading, grab our multi-masker. This will definitely need washed after this project. And I'm going to just start again. Now this is one that we will be doing at least 2 layers, if not 3 of the yellow, just to make sure that it pops. So see that the yellow on top of the brown is just blah. It doesn't have a lot of pop. So to make it pop, we will add those layers. And this is where the gray could have potentially come in handy to make it pop a little more. I've started my second layer of my third drop shadow, and I want to show you the difference between 1 layer and 2 of this gold. So this is the 1 layer of gold. This is the 2 layers of gold. So it's not much different than the Gone. It's very similar, but it does show the difference of adding the layers can help bring it up to the brightness that you might want. Since this is just going to be a tiny sliver of drop shadow, I probably won't do a 3rd layer and just start making my way back once I get done with this 2nd layer. All right, are you ready for the review? We're gonna peel this off and go back to where we started. Take off our tape, peel off our stencil, and voila, now we have our yellow, our brown, and our yellow. So the bold yellow that you see now is going to be our base coat of yellow. We are going to work our way back, going to the brown and then to the yellow on top. So before we start backtracking to make our drop shadow the other way, you could most certainly stop here. So the fishing is shifted a tiny bit to the left, maybe a little bit down, not exactly centered with where your main stencil would be. However, you're still getting the same effect. So if you would want, you could stop here and already have your triple drop shadow. You would not necessarily have to go in the opposite direction. So if you decide to go ahead and go back through the process for your drop shadow, we are now lining up our stencil with the brown that we have already painted. And that is going to be our base for our next layer to go back over the brown. So see why it's so important to put your brushes in a bag, because there are several layers and it does take some time between the layers to get back to where we're going to go. I did blow dry once again on the yellow before I came back, just to make sure that it was nice and dry before I drug my stencil through. So a lot of times we are asked, when do you know when it's time to wash your stencils? Or when is it time to wash your multi-masker? If you're doing a triple drop shadow, you will want to wash your stencils or your multi-masker probably after each project. The paint starts to build up, and once the paint starts to build up, the lines become less clear. You start just to get, they're not as straight, they're not as bold, and the paint starts to build up on them. So after this project, I will definitely be washing the multi-masker. I'll definitely be washing the stencil if we would decide to reuse it again. And there is a video on how to wash your stencils the correct way here on our YouTube channel. We talk about how to wash them, when to wash them, specifically when you're using reds and pinks, and then also glitter. So these are there are definitely some times that you're going to want to wash your stencil more often than others. We can go several uses of our stencils without washing them, especially with patterned stencils, but there are going to be times that you're going to want to wash them between each use. So I just talked about when is it time to wash your multi-masker, your stencil. So it is time for this multi-masker because I just noticed on my H here that there's a little bit of blue paint. So we did use blue, but this is not the blue that we use from this project. So some of the paint from probably the back of this multi-masker, because we use it and flip it, has transferred onto this project. So that means it's time to wash it, clean it up, get a new one, whatever you're going to do, and come back to your project and keep it clean so you don't run into those issues. Okay, so we have one layer done of our brown. This is definitely a take your time project. Find a good movie, find a good podcast, find another good YouTube video here on StudioR12 and make your way through. Okay, so we have our brown finished. I think that I'm okay with the one layer. And then now we'll get to our final layer of our yellow, and we are almost at the finish line. Okay, we're ready for our last layer. I did grab a new brush. The yellow brush that I was using had a lot of paint in it. The paint was pushed really far up into the bristles because of all the pressure I was applying through the stippling. So I decided for this last layer, since I have a bucket of brushes, I'm just going to grab an extra one, start fresh, and prevent, hopefully, any mistakes because there's so much paint in the brush. 7 layers later, it's a 7-layer cake of stencils. We are ready to show you our final reveal of our gone fishing triple drop shadow project. Are you ready? Let's take a look. Voila, that is super cool. It's a super fun technique. There's a lot of different options that you can do with the colors, with how big or how small your drop shadow is. We love this effect and can't wait to see what you do with it. If you like this video and want to see more cool stencil, painting, crafting, and DIY techniques, you're in the right place. Subscribe to StudioR12 right here on YouTube and be sure to check out our drop shadow playlist.